I'm Leah, youth correspondent from mindyourmind.ca, and I'm here right now with Amber Pacific.
Yeah. We've had so many highlights throughout our career and so many things that have been really amazing and encouraging for us, and just to see, you know, to go year by year and to see the fans grow and to see just the amount of kids that come out to see you and that buy your record and you get to a city and how many kids show up each time, you know, as you get there, and that grows. And you know, there's so many special instances with different kids in different cities, and it's like we can't even pick one and say necessarily that's the greatest thing that's ever happened, because there's so many little individual connections with fans that it's like, you know, we really try to do that on a nightly basis, be somebody's special evening for them, and, you know, connect with somebody on a personal level.
My next question is, apparently, obviously, like, fans are really important to you. Is there anything you do specifically to make sure that you really, like, develop a strong fan base?
From the beginning of that first Warped Tour in 2004, we made a huge effort to always be available to our fans no matter what. We never wanted to be the band that just hung out in the backstage or anything like that. So our whole career, we've always tried to be at the merch table before shows, during shows, after shows, signing whatever kids want. We've signed a million things, pretty much anything you can think of we've signed, and it's been the greatest thing to hear their feedback on our band and how much it's helped them through things. And I don't know if anyone else wants to elaborate.
Also on this one, for me, I try to do a lot of email, and that's one of my connections with kids. And when we put our last record, I said on the DVD that I'd write kids back, and I gave my email address. And since then, I've just had hundreds and hundreds of emails. You know, I still get them every day from a few fans, and so it's really cool to stay connected that way.
My next question is, where did you guys get your name from, Amber Pacific? Like, where does it come from?
The name Amber Pacific comes from a list of a bunch of names I wrote down one night, and word Amber was in one name, the word Pacific was in another. He said he liked those two words. I said, let's just put them together. Everyone hated it, but then somehow it stuck. So that's how we got our name.
The song Gone So Young is definitely very, very personal. I wrote it about our friend Luke Johnson, who passed away before our senior year in high school. He got into a really bad car accident, and so, I mean, it was a really easy thing to write that song about that person, because he was a close friend of a lot of ours, and he's just a great guy. Like, everyone loved him at school and stuff, so it was a really, really terrible thing that happened, and so I wanted to write a song that not only we can relate to, but our friends at school could use, and then it kind of became our most popular song, because we know that, you know, that doesn't just happen to us, it happens to kids every day. So, not even kids, even grown-ups and everyone. We always lose, you know, loved ones, and so it's been a great thing to get that song out there and help people out through situations like that.
Okay. Do you find, like, just I guess on the same note, do you find that most of your music comes from personal things? Like, do you find it easier, like, as an inspiration, do you use, like, personal events to kind of help, right? Or is it more so whatever kind of feeling, or a mix of both?
I would say that our first record, The Possibility and Promise, was pretty much driven from all personal experiences with a girl, to be honest. I was in high school and I was writing it, and you know, I had a tough time with her, so that's kind of where that stuff came from. Our latest record, Truth and Sincerity, is more dedicated towards the fans, and we wanted it to be an album that they could use for their situations, and it was less personal thing, but more for them, and that was the whole idea behind the record.
I guess you guys know about Mind Your Mind, and you know that we're a site out there to help youth, especially who are dealing with hard times surrounding mental health issues. And I guess I just wanted to know, you guys are busy on the road all the time, like you said, 7 months already straight. It must get pretty hectic being on a bus and on tour. So basically, how do you guys deal with stress?
I think we play a lot of video games. We hang out with each other a lot. I know we definitely play Halo a lot, the new Halo that just came out. And you know, we just like to hang out with friends and everything, and just kind of blow off some steam that way. I think Matt could probably fill you in on a little bit more.
Well, what I do is I definitely make sure that every day I take a lot of time for myself, like time to just like relax and reflect and get away from everything involving like the band, because yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like a 24-hour-a-day job. Like,
maybe we're only in the club for a few hours and maybe we're only on stage for 30 minutes, but like we're gone all the time and we're around each other all the time. So I definitely do what I can to like take a little bit of time to myself and just relax. And even though like it may be busy or may be stressful and it may not be the perfect place, sometimes just like going and having a meal by yourself or with a, you know, just one person, or just, you know, getting away and just relaxing and is always I think is always a good option. I think that applies to anybody if you're busy with school or your family's bugging you or your friends are bugging you. Sometimes just, you know, relaxing and going off on your own, like for a walk or a run or something, is always good.
Definitely time to yourself.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any kind of words of advice or inspiration you could give to youth?
I would definitely say that nothing that ever happens is really permanent, and it's hard to grasp that when things seem really down or bad. But there's always tomorrow, and things always get better no matter how bad they are. And I think that's something that you always have to think when you're going through tough times like that.
And personally for me, the two single-handedly remember these days vividly, the two worst days of my life back when I was in high school, two events that like completely changed like the things that I would do and what would take up my time and what made me happy. And those 2 days allowed me to be in this band. Like as a result of those things happening, then I became a part of the band because those things were no longer available to me. And you know, obviously now we're here and we're enjoying life. But if those bad days had never happened, there's no way I'd be in this band. So everything does get better. Everything happens for a reason, and sometimes it's really hard to see that. But for my own personal experience, like I'm glad those days happened because we're all here now.
So I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, and good luck tonight with your show.
Thank you.
Thank you.